Leading the channel. The Awakening of the Chosen. Gabriel here today introduces a crucial issue for its spiritual development chosen. The concept that directs our gathering today asks us to recall our divine nature and the teachings we have gathered throughout a lifetime, therefore transcending traditional boundaries. 4 angels are among us to illuminate secrets kept by eons. The curtain between heaven from earth has gotten thinner. A privilege that spirits like yours, selected, may experience, is feeling this presence. I swear you this stuff is a transforming key. This gift cannot be disregarded. Otherwise, one runs the danger of missing the divine chance to be reincarnated and awakened spiritually. Although many have heard the call, few have the bravery to go on. This is one of those rare opportunities we should not let go. Remember that angel's message is really essential. Ignoring it would be akin to ignore an unequivocal indication of God. The route the cosmos has drawn you is the beginning of the change we need right now. Stay focused and resist letting yourself go off track. Her spirit called out for this disclosure. She is within grasp and eager to be acknowledged as pure truth. Allow your actions to be the reflection of your faith. With this little encouragement, I urge him to show his divine dedication. The simplicity of being a light in the darkness reflects great wisdom. Every action or word we send to the world reflects this higher connection that is in us. Every identification with this film indicates that you embraced the divine message within your heart. Though it seems a little act, this gratitude echoes as acceptance of the so-called paradise. Ignoring your connection nearly guarantees that you will forget the one task God has assigned you. Selected. Time is limited, and window of opportunity is small. Getting out of this film before we fully grasp these teachings would be the same as running from a loneliness enforced by the soul itself. Rarely diving like this in deep, uncharted seas. Every second, we catch the essence that may be our actual metamorphosis. At this point, I welcome you to a philosophical and spiritual meditation beyond reason. The belief that we are all entwined to the fate of the universe under the direction of forces that go be overcome. Our path is not lonely. Heavenly eyes help each step we make. See the strength of this metamorphosis. Trust me, soon we will have the knowledge required to reach our innermost nature, a flash of divinity in our life. Are you suited for this trip? Let your spirit to burst free, so that we may walk together the paths of heavenly revelation. The phenomena we are presenting to you today, selected, has particular relevance for your spiritual development. It is something huge, a pillar supporting the full framework of its road towards the holy. Now shattered, the curtain separating heaven from the ground is not just a metaphor, but also the expression of a transforming power acting straight in our being. We are not dealing with a fleeting occurrence, rather, the core of the development of individuals who want to be realized with their vast cosmic source. We need a strong language with the weight of knowledge gathered over years of their experiences and challenges. Remaining in the ignorance of this truth is to flee into stagnation, to decide to live sleeping in an illusionary existence. This is the vast division of waters many souls have anticipated, the angels with insights about us. This knowledge determines its ascent to actual essence, as well as starts a new spiritual phase. Feel the urgency and spiritual obligation you are carrying on. Every minute we pause might be a pivotal turning point from which we choose to fade. A remarkable cry, echoing from the cosmos to the hearts of the preparations, comes before his sight. Ignoring it is like shutting your soul to the ancestral knowledge meant for us, for divine love. Consider your road, lovingly selected. Though often difficult, the route seems lengthy and full of accomplishments that molded you. This phenomena, this breach between the dimensions, is here to direct your next action, to enable you to escape the physical boundaries that have for so long conditioned your life. Those who want to eliminate material currents and discover actual freedom must traverse between the worlds. See the metamorphosis that is to come with the eyes of your spirit. This understanding is the key to negotiating in this new moment of light, like old waterways who have just revealed their secret currents. Understanding this insight is a divine will imprinted at the center of every decision. It is not a choice, and this insight helps the spirit to be strengthened and shows the road back to the celestial home. Let us so respect this divinity inside each of us, and let our souls grow with the fresh information to arrive. Selected as the phenomena at issue is the breakdown of the curtain separating us from the celestial plane over a protracted period. This is a power that permeates to the base of our being, a watershed in our spiritual development. It is not a transient or temporary idea. The unity of our bodily, psychological, and spiritual aspects in a fresh condition of harmony is at stake. Our physical body will show us minute changes, a call to cleanse and match our activities with divine intent. Emotionally, the first disturbance of feelings turns into a cause of strong intuition and empathy. Spiritually, it is a call to rouse sleeping consciousness and let the gifts of discernment and higher knowledge to flow from open yourself. When we consider the resurrection of the Christ, where the rolled stone of the tomb signifies the beginning of a new age of life and knowledge, this progression is evident. Therefore, the opening of the veil asks us to rise from our own graves of ignorance and fear into a new light of divine awareness. Understanding this phenomena is clearly important and a responsibility, as it would ignore it to let the soul remain in a condition of anarchy and mediocrity. Knowing and combining these big principles helps us to reach a long-lasting equilibrium, a fresh dawn to the Renaissance, eager spirit. I implore you to consider carefully your own path and realize how urgently every insightful lesson you have experienced should be combined. This is the road of spiritual fighters, God's chosen ones, who choose to dwell beyond the boundaries of the physical world among people. Ignoring the knowledge of these processes runs the danger of keeping one caught in a sea of doubt. Unlock your transformative potential only by breaking through these levels of knowledge. Revealing each layer will help us to understand actual freedom and enable us to see its development precisely and intimately. This is the time selected to attain the completeness provided for God's whole offspring. Let us explore the idea of this spiritual transcendence in which boundaries between heaven and earth vanish. This phenomena combines to the spheres of our life, physical, emotional, and spiritual, forming a vivid tapestry in which every thread expresses the divine presence. In our physical plane, we see gaps in the fabric of reality, allowing divine light to enter. It is an invitation for our acts to mirror the heavenly equilibrium and a call to the cleansing of the body. Emotionally, we experience the intensity of this awakening, which first seems as turbulence, but which over time is part of a condition of firm equilibrium. The chosen ones of God see this as the soul's rebirth, as a phoenix rising from first consumption by the flames, stronger and more pure. This is the way the Bible presents us. The little route few walkers cross results in the regeneration of the Holy Spirit. The change is like a hurricane shaking us to release the dead leaves, sow space for fresh development. And just as Moses followed the desert to the promised land, doubt is born, a faith once again confirmed in rich and plentiful territory. The urgency is here, to grasp it or to be carried away by the rebellion of doubt. Self-knowledge becomes the rock on which we construct the home of our soul, preventing the fall for inertia. Jesus spoke about it in Matthew. He who hears these my words and puts them into practice is like a prudent man who built his house over the rock. It is the prudence that keeps us on the proper road. I will give you serious directions, review every lesson, and apply our prior knowledge to our current. Though it is not a simple work, it is the path of genuine spiritual warriors, those who embrace their journey as assigned and still follow determination and passion. Ignoring the value of these revelations would help to keep the cycle of spiritual imbalance and mediocrity intact. It's time to commit to development. Revelation should not be a weight, but rather the key releasing divine potential only in God's chosen ones. Every layer we untook us toward the life of purpose, empowerment, and holy relationship with the divine for which we were called. Selected, see this metamorphosis fully. As we get ready for the grandeur of what is to come, acknowledge every element of its development profoundly. It is an approaching awakening in which the knowledge of his soul shines, guiding him to the road set by God, free from space for questions or anxieties, just clarity and dedication. Deeper ening the phenomena of the curtain separating heaven from earth, we see that its echoes go far into our core and change every facet of human existence. This insight resonates in all spheres of life, including physical, emotional, and spiritual ones, and runs in the threads of our existence. See this change as the development of a strong tree anchored in the ground of spirituality, reaching toward light daily. One undergoes a slow but instantaneous change. Awakening initially seems to be an avalanche of feelings and fresh impressions snatched from us, but with time, it organizes and matures in a condition of great balance. Jesus exclaimed, "Amori ourselves," amid the peace of the sea, and suddenly, everything calmed down. The hallmark of God's chosen ones, those who deliberately walk the road of divine restoration, is this continual progression. Let us consider Abraham, whose path of faith resembled a replica of ongoing metamorphosis and spiritual development. Every tribulation, every heavenly promise, brought him to a land of hope where he would rule a large country. Each of us is therefore summoned on a trip to transcend the restrictions placed and welcome the wholeness of our celestial legacy. Preventing captivity and mediocrity cycles starts with an awareness of this change. Driven by the faith and the want to enlarge our existence, we must go beyond, break with the unseen ties, and fling ourselves. We may create the roadmap of our spiritual future by means of self-knowledge, a road delineated by the divine light now guiding us. Those of you selected ones should challenge your prior experiences and come to see the depth of your teachings. See that every challenge overcome and every insight gained are sparks of this ongoing development. This is the call of spiritual warriors. Combine the knowledge of the road to reach a higher level of awareness and goal. Ignoring the specifics of this new company will help one to stay in the shadow of an imbalanced society. Here, what is presented to him is not a choice. Rather, it is a necessary step towards a divinely enlightened place. Thus, each selected opens a potential that exceeds the ordinary, by dissecting and embracing these new levels of knowledge, thereby bringing it closer to the promise of existence in its whole truth. Every selected son of God lives at the center of this expected metamorphosis. Selected, let's investigate the processes behind the strong changes of this waking to new harmony. The energies rearrange as the barrier separating heaven from earth breaches, adapting to a heavenly mosaic touching all spheres of our life: physical, psychological, and spiritual. In the physical realm, there is a natural purification, wherein each impurity is removed to expose our finest divine essence. Gold, refined by fire, for example. Emotionally, the first whirl of sensations brings us to a dance with divine insight. Like David, who discovered balance in his unwavering trust and complete confidence in God while confronting Goliath. This emotional trip leads us first for ourselves, then for others, toward clarity and compassion. Here is where spiritually, the echoes of discernment show themselves. This process of maturation is not random. Rather, it guides the selected for inescapable development, therefore defining the immutable rules of the cosmos. We must grasp these systems because taking them lightly would be to decide to live surrounded in anarchy and mediocrity. Our energy can be properly channeled only in conscious mastery of this process, which will bring us to the permanent equilibrium and actual spiritual development. Jesus showed us how to build our spiritual home on a strong base. This is the basis we should not let the storms of the world to sweep away. Understanding these processes and integrating them means learning to be a deliberate spiritual fighter of the forces around us. Every realization you acquire is a pillar in creating your inner temple, a shattered barrier, a fresh road towards the spiritual fulfillment just beyond the horizon. The descriptions we present are like gold keys given to unlock fresh doors of spiritual potential. Feel the profundity of this transforming dynamic and let spiritual vision to unequivocally show itself in its own nature. It is the moment to reject the old skin and come out fresh, forcefully and totally, toward its divine purpose. Your selected call is this one, and the change is unavoidable. We now reveal the fundamental principles and procedures by which strong spiritual alterations solidify into a fresh harmony. Divine energy organizes in our being as the veil breaks, thereby encouraging a harmonization between our physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. Every one of these aspects takes part in a cosmic ball that guides, changes our life. Physically, our body becomes a responsive vase that requires cleanliness and preparation. As new vessels are filled with fresh wine, our cells vibrate in a holy resonance that must be preserved in purity. This allows heavenly energy to be received and channeled, as if David's harp could tune every string to the global music. Emotionally, the process injects knowledge that transforms uncertainty into clarity and anarchy into compassion. This wakes to the power to redefine our emotions and open us to a transcendent and divine love that leads us to real serenity, much like the time Paul was blinded by a heavenly light and then saw with fresh eyes. Spiritually, this unity helps us to reach a more close relationship with the Holy. It is in this confidence of triumph over the sufferings that live the bravery and energy needed to become a conduit of God's will on earth. Jesus declared in John 16:33, "In the world you will have afflictions, but tend to good courage. I have overcome the world." We must understand that these processes are not just opportunities designed to direct the development of every chosen of God. They are the immutable rules of the cosmos. Ignorance of or underestimating these processes means one will be bound to the chains of imbalance and spiritual anguish. This helps me to underline the need of learning these techniques, which act as the link between the conditioned past and the future of real freedom. Imagine yourself strolling on the seas like Peter, where every faithful step protects us protected about the future. I exhort every one of you to give this information great personal commitment. To meet this challenge is to realize that every revelation is a necessary component of the cosmic jigsaw, a key to unlock the gates of a more radiant condition. Clearly describe leaving this vision entrenched in your thoughts. Emphasize the movement of these holy energy within you to help you to run your days and direct your evenings. For the actual selected, this is the dynamic forced by divine love, a development leading to unification with the everlasting essence of our real identity in God. I ask you, selected, for a closer examination on what we discover as we go forward. See your path as a screen that progressively shows itself, a dynamic artwork whose tones are shown as you go on your spiritual trip. The realities shown here are the color palette you will use to give life to this special work you are living. Let's review several that might be relevant for your stroll. Like Moses upon Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments, spiritual development is a flash insight. That was the instant the holy voice emerged and became audible clearly. Likewise, the road of your waking the guide is written in John 15:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life, bringing it out of the darkness, and then the light of divine truth that unveils. Following this road helps us to experience the integration of this insight, altering our interiority and considering our everyday interactions and behavior. It is a new birth that arises, cleansing goals and matching them with the higher goal guiding our journey on this planet. We acknowledge this renaissance in little deeds, the compassion to others, the patience in trying circumstances, and the calm it brings into our souls. Consider the results of this metamorphosis as a force in operation in the planet. Every decision and word said from this point on bears a spark of divinity, like a beam of sunlight breaking across a gloomy room. Your life turns into a living testimony, shining the light you discovered and shared. The story we create today is a roadmap, a thorough tapestry of possibilities. I cordially welcome you to provide a personal experience or background to the comments. By doing this, you not only convey your way, but also highlight the road of others who search and need this model. Each narrative is a wire in the immense fabric of our spiritual connectedness. Let us distribute this light together. As God's actual chosen ones, may every one of us gain from this holy interchange and develop and flourish. Now, as we link the depth of the spiritual processes we explore to your pragmatic application, I ask you to consider closely how these truths show themselves in your everyday life. The breaking of the veil and the revelations accompanying this phenomena are not just abstract ideas. They reflect in the actual experiences of the selected ones, therefore forming and defining the spiritual path of every. Think about the journey Joseph took from slave to ruler of Egypt. Its course shows the tremendous metamorphosis spiritual harmony may bring. Your personal insights may lead you on routes before unthinkable, just as Joseph understood dreams that had changed the destiny of millions. This is the pragmatic expression of the phenomena we address, a dramatic shift in viewpoint and a closer knowledge of the divine direction for your life. These strong changes show themselves in their exterior connections as well as in their essence. Inside, you go a new creation, as detailed in 2 Corinthians 5:17, where the old one is gone and the new came. Expressed in calm, compassion, and a close relationship with the divine, the heart opens to new viewpoints and abilities. Externally, these developments show in their interactions, therefore strengthening their ties with others and enabling you to share knowledge and insight. Every movement, every word seemed to be imbued with the core of divine love, generating fruits of compassion and better understanding that enhances the surroundings. I want you to see these facts and experience the depth of the possible changes. This awareness not only changes you, but also serves as a beacon for those souls searching for direction. Under the comments below, I share with you the invitation to document an event or time when you lived these truths in your life. Its past can be the spark of insight for someone selected on the path. By means of this ongoing conversation, we declare our shared commitment to develop together as God's chosen, walking in light and in truth. Every witness and every revelation, therefore, becomes part of a greater fabric of spiritual development and divine contact. Beloved selected, now is the moment to turn contemplation into concrete activity. Each of the revelations we play today is a necessary step towards harmonization with their divine reality. They also call for activities that cement change. These useful techniques can help you start now to follow the road of spiritual completeness. First, commit yourself to regular meditation and stillness. We must quiet the cacophony of the world to hear the holy voice speaking inside us, just as Elijah discovered God in the subtle whisper. Create this unenforceable habit. Set aside times in the morning and evening to concentrate on the goal that speaks to you personally and link your soul to the Creator. Second, assess and straighten your words and deeds. Be very honest in your correspondence, as every word has meaning and force. Jesus has seen for us that the truth will release us. Act as if it's real. Think about how your language could either deepen or undermine your spiritual connection, and change it to fit your new level of awareness. Learn to be very grateful. David shows us in the book of Psalms to discover beauty in the latent talents and to shout praises in all conditions. Acknowledge the gifts that surround you and inspire your soul to the love of the Father, therefore cultivating a spirit of bravery and happiness. These techniques are not just recommendations, they are absolutely necessary for escaping cycles of spiritual stagnation that might cage you. True freedom is only found in adopting them right away. Every choice we make, every little adjustment we undertake, creates the new fabric of our smart and balanced spiritual existence. Get inspired and pushed to act right now. There is no time to waste. The moment of spiritual daybreak is here, and the acts we do now will help to solidify our future Christian. See each exercise, apply it to your daily schedule, and see how heavenly knowledge starts to pour through you. These techniques demand your immediate attention so that you might at last enjoy the clarity and excellence of life meant for God's chosen ones. You are asked to start today and respect your actual nature. When we get to the critical part of useful instructions, it is imperative that you, selected, adopt these techniques with the gravity and urgency they need. These techniques were precisely defined to direct their force and stimulate the spiritual metamorphosis we explored. Start first with a daily prayer and meditation regimen. Set aside time to quiet your thoughts and open your heart to the divine presence, either before the sun rises or after it's dusk. See yourself like Daniel, opening his spiritual windows toward God by 3 times daily prayers. This is a personal haven where you discover strength and direction and a solid basis for spiritual development. I advise you to get regular self-examined. Paul's direction. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine you to yourselves. Helps us to spot and change destructive tendencies. Keep a spiritual notebook in which you may note lessons learned, successes, and problems, therefore helping you to identify areas requiring further development. One must avoid staying in negative spiritual cycles by means of this identification. Include charitable deeds and acts of service into your daily life. His own soul deepens love and compassion by means of interpersonal contacts, therefore mirroring the pragmatic goal that Jesus expressed by washing the feet of his followers. Every act of kindness is a clear path towards spiritual liberation, a concrete means to show heavenly light on earth. Although this method may appear in classing, real change calls for commitment and discipline. Act right now, as your spiritual development cannot be seen from behind. This is the moment to unite the state of wisdom and balance you are looking for. Tomorrow is not here. Now is here. Get really engaged, see every practice, and realize how urgently they need be started right now. May this dedication resound on your path, enabling every stride closer to the heavenly light to which you have been invited. Your spiritual family is by your side, helping you to go on in this transcending road of God's chosen ones with bravery and loyalty. Selected, we momentarily go back over the magnificent rails we crossed today. Spiritual change is an endless road where every awakening and path toward equilibrium gets us ready for next rewards and difficulties. This constant change is the hallowed road that God's actual chosen should travel, feeding every lesson and supporting one another with every success. I really appreciate your being here with us. As spiritual warriors dedicated to pursue divine light and truth, your involvement not only deepens us in a sacred brotherhood tie, but also enhances our spiritual community. We appreciate you being here and walking with us on this illumination road. His presence upholds our community of God's chosen here on the channel, The Spiritual Secret. Please write in the comments the word gratitude, a show of your trek here, so God may respect your path as a real choice of His. Its contact clarifies our path and maintains our holy link ever more powerful. Let us say a little prayer, letting our hearts sense the divine presence. May God illuminate your steps and empower your spirit, leading you on the road of truth and change. Nice. Every action of yours, whether you are viewing our videos or leaving a comment, strengthens our community and helps us to recognize and pray for every selected God who is looking for divine truth. Remember that this is only the beginning. Divine messages await you in our next videos, offering direction and inspiration in the revelations.